Welcome back for one more that I have time for tonight. And we're going to add in one more similar kind of mountain over here, just spread out over this area, and then we'll add in some trees. So to start with, I'm going to grab my sculpt tool. I'm going to try to do this one quick so I don't take up too much of y'all's time. I'm going to set it to about 0.3 and just sculpt it up to a good, decent point. That ought to be good for starters. Alright, then I'm going to flatten target. I want to select the target to be about here. But I don't want slope flatten, so if you still got that, take that out. And then I'm going to just, let's see, paint this around. It jumps around on mine. I don't know if it will on yours, but if it does, just kind of slowly go over the areas that you need to. I'm going to pick another area. I'm going to make this one kind of small, and I'm going to lower only. You know what? Actually, I'm just going to make the whole thing about... I don't know why it acts like that on mine, but whatever. So yeah, I'm going to do it that way to start with. And then I'll sculpt. Boom, right about here. Whoa, that was quick. Alright, so then flatten, pick my height to be here. And I only want to raise so I can drag this one all around over here. I don't want any gaps where the player might be able to get stuck, so I'm just going to connect it to that wall right there. I'm going to pick one more about here and make this side about that height. And then I'm going to select my ramp tool. I'm going to set a ramp about here at about 1500 width. I'm going to add my ramp. And see, it looks nice. And then I'm going to reset from here to here. Add ramp again. And then we'll reset one more time and set a ramp here. Don't really know what will go up here. We'll kind of cross that bridge when we come to it. And that, oh, that's foliage. I'm going to go to my paint, rock, drop this down to about 500 because it, no, about 250. It'll stretch for the, see it's down here, it's real small, but on the sides it will actually get to a decent size in order to cover the full angle, which comes in handy especially for narrowing edges down at the bottom like that. And then I'll just paint around, which I'll smooth all this out so the texture doesn't look as weird. But for now, just getting it on there is good. So down to the edge. Boom. By now I'm sure you've realized that I'm not the best at landscapes, but I wanted to at least put this part in there so I could share what I had learned in the process. Because it doesn't seem like there's very many landscape tutorial videos. But I wanted to at least show you all some of the things I've done that I found that worked somewhat decent at least. So now I'm going to select my dirt. I'm going to just kind of draw my trail. You don't have to add a trail if you don't want to. I just like it, I guess. Let me go back to smooth, set it to about 0.1. Just set it to about 500 snow. I don't know if that actually makes a difference, but it seems to. And we'll just smooth it all down. That one I'm going to take most of the way out. A little bit darker there and there. So, yeah, that's a decent way of doing. I'm going to go back to my sculpt noise. About 0.1 that'd be good for the strength. And then just to add some variation, just like we did before. Just kind of play with the values, paint around, figure out what looks good to you, and go from there. See, it kind of digs in, makes it look more unique. Now I'm going to go to my smooth tool. I'm going to turn on the detail smoothing because it helps to not lose too much height, and it just kind of softens it at the edges rather than knocking the height down a good chunk. And it has a really interesting effect of kind of digging in at the top and bottom to where it gives it a little bit more character, I feel like. I could be wrong, this could all look terrible, I don't know. Tell me in the comments. See, landscapes are one of those things that's like, it takes some time. You can make them look really nice. I'm going to go back to painting rock. I'm going to knock this down to something low, like 100. That way I can just kind of go around at the bottom and bump the strength up. Why are you not painting? Because I'm on smooth. That would be why. And just kind of fill in the bottom gaps a little bit at the top. Yeah, these videos are probably boring, but I know a lot of tutorials they just kind of skip over this part, and I wanted to make sure we went in depth a little bit. In as much depth as I can give you, at least. But yeah, it's starting to come together decent. Now let's work on some foliage, just to add some trees and kind of make it a little bit more. Anyway, in content, I'm going to select static mesh and type in tree. And then I'm going to find some ice trees. So there's one that we'll be using. So I'm going to open the foliage section. I'm going to drop this one in. Let's see. Ice tree rock. We'll add some rocks too. Let's see, a dead tree. We'll place that one by hand. Snowy pine tree. Snowy pine tree. And then some of these we'll place by hand just because they're unique, and like that one, you wouldn't want that one just floating around in a bunch of mass. Unless you're having like some kind of super fantasy game going. But for us, we won't do that. Let's see. Paint density 0.01. Yeah, I'm going to set paint density to about 0.01. I'm going to go down through here on each one. For my scale X, I want to set the minimum to 1 and the max to 1.3. And then I want to untick align to normal. Reason being is because if we plant them on the side of a hill like that, then they'll be, see how they're kind of angled a little bit. Whereas if we untick that, Just delete all that. I'll untick all that so there's only this one. Then, even if the thing is hilled, they come straight up, because that's the way trees are. In nature, they generally go straight up. You at least wouldn't see, like, angled like that. I mean, hell, I don't know. It's been a long time since I've been in the woods. So, but I like to untick that. And density right here will pick how often they pop up. So I want the rocks to be like 5 and these trees to be like 50, 50, 30. And then we'll take a look. Five might be a bit much for those rocks. Let's do 1. And you can just paint around. You can alter the values as much as you like. Gonna put them all through here. This will be where the animals are all. Telling you where animals are gonna be. Animals are gonna be in the wilderness. Y'all know. I'm sorry. So just kind of paint it all around wherever you feel like trees would go. Like I'm gonna put some trees up here. And I'm gonna put some trees right here. So yours might say you need to build the lighting. Mine doesn't because I've set my light source to movable, but see if I set it to stationary, then it needs to. But I'm going to leave mine as movable just because I have better results personally that way. You can do yours, again, how you choose to. There's also this mode where you can do single instance. It'll shrink your spot down a lot, but you can, whoa. Okay. Make sure you only got the one thing that you want placed though, so like to add a little bit more precision if you like. Like I'll add this here. To make like a little wall of rocks, I guess. Why not? I'll add some of these in there. So I like using the single instance mode for more narrow areas just to have a little bit more fine-tuned control over where exactly the trees will pop up. And then I don't have to worry about them being on the trails or in the edges. So I'm gonna add just one of these here. And that's looking decent for now. Let's drop in and take a look. Let's not drop in from over here and take a look though. I'll drag this character. Where the game is going to start will be over in the village. So I'll drag her over here. Then take a look. And it's not looking bad so far. One more thing we'll go over is, depending on how much time we got. Yeah, we got time. Alright, I'm going to add in, from the visual effects, an exponential height fog. And what this does is we're not ready for the exponential height fog. What I'm going to add in now is called goodsky. And it'll give us a nicer sky sphere, which it doesn't take long to set up, so then we'll do the exponential height fog. But I'm going to drag this out like that. I'm going to click the other sky sphere and delete it. And then for this one, I'm going to set the sky preset under the sky global settings to midnight stars, just because I like the blue. I'm going to, under the sun stars, I want to set the stars brightness to about 0.75. The stars UV tile, which is how they're scaled, I'm going to set it to 4 just so that it gives you a nice night sky. And then the stars fall off intensity, I'm going to set that over to 0.25. This just kind of adds a little cloud effect going through, like it's covering the stars and all that, so I just like it a lot. And our scene's starting to come together decently. This is kind of a rush job, and I'm sorry, I'm just trying to get these out without a... I don't want to take up too much of y'all's time, and I do want to get the information to you at least. So I'm sorry if this is coming off rough, but I'm going to go ahead and build everything real quick. Hopefully real quick. I say real quick. We'll keep our fingers crossed. Might not be too quick. I'm sorry, I don't know how to edit. I should have just built the lighting. Building takes a while sometimes. This is probably something I should have done off camera. Live and learn, right? Yeah. This video is going good. I almost want to kill it now because of this. I'll just add timestamps. Oh, lighting build complete. 2 minutes of your life you'll never get back. I'm sorry. Anyway, now it looks a little bit better at least. Really. So now what I want to do is I want to adjust our skylight a little bit because we set its intensities. Oh, actually its intensity, yeah, I'll set it to 2. 3? No, 2 is good. Then we're going to drag out our exponential height fog. Actually, the skylight looks like maybe 1 is good after all. So in our exponential height fog, I'm going to set the fog density to about 0.1, which right now seems like a lot, but I'm going to set it to a volumetric fog, set its extinction scale to about 2, and the color to, okay, to a little bit, like a bluish, but a dark blue. Okay. Might be too dense though, so we'll set that back down to about 0.05. Set the fog max opacity to about 0.5, 0.75. The fog cutoff. Oh no, I don't want to do that. We want to set its height fall. Oh, height fall off to about 0.5. We still want it to be on them while they're up here, just not as much. So I'm going to set its height fall to about 0.75? No, 0.25. The lower the number, the higher it goes up. So if I set it to 0, it just goes up forever. But if I set it to about 0.25, it'll be up here at the top of the mountain. So it's not looking terrible. Start distance is about where it'll start from the camera. I'm gonna just leave it. And set this to about 0.075 maybe. Now let's kind of take a look. Set our skylight to about 2 on the intensity. Set full screen. And now we got a somewhat decent place to kind of go through. I'm going to set the angle of my light source to be this direction. Maybe. The lighting and effects and the fog and everything can have a huge impact on your scene, so you really want to kind of take your time and mess with it, get everything just right. I'm just kind of rushing through, like I said, because I don't want to take up too much of your time. But I also want it to be at least, you know, decent looking. So, light source, come back to it. I'll just this is fine for now. Right now, none of the trees are going to have collision, I don't think. Yeah. So we'll fix that real quick and then we'll end this one. So what you want to do is you want to select it. You want to scroll down to Instance Settings. And under No Collision, just block all. Once you're scrolled to that one, you can just go through and it'll be right there. So now, we will try to run through it. It says no, you can't. Physics has now entered the room and said that is impossible. So it's not looking bad. It's definitely with some work it could be something. But in the next one we'll start setting up our village scene, which we're going to burn to the ground. We won't. The enemy will have, and then we'll fight them off, and then, or get them in place to fight them off, and then we'll start setting up more of our menu stuff. And we still got a ways to go on this one too. But I hope you're enjoying it so far. Catch you on the next one.